Hey all, my name is Akanksha and welcome to my channel English Explained. Today I am going to be reviewing a play, A Doll's House. It is a 3-act play written by Henrik Ibsen, a Norwegian playwright who is also known as the father of realism. The play was published and premiered in 1879. It was originally written in Norwegian language, but after gaining popularity, it was translated into many other languages. As I have summarized the whole play, so no mystery remains to be unfolded. Hence, before continuing further, a big spoiler alert to those who haven't read the play yet. Now let's discuss the summary of the play. In the first act, we find that the protagonist Nora arrives home after Christmas shopping. She is introduced as a bubbly girl who is pampered by her husband, Torvald Helmer. In the initial scene itself, we get a glance that he keeps a complete control over her life as she was rebuked by him for being a spendthrift. Nora, on the contrary, tries hard to keep her relationship intact by giving reasons for her actions. Another important character is Mrs. Christine Lind, who arrives at Nora's home to seek Torvald's help to find a job in his bank. She is a widow and currently facing some hardships in her life. Seeing Nora, she passes a judgment by calling her childlike, which really hurts Nora, and she reveals the fact that she had saved her husband's life by arranging £250 a year ago. She also gives a hint that though Torvald and everyone else think that the money was given by her now deceased father, she actually managed to get a loan from some other person which she has been paying by cutting off her expenses and writing some pieces. Now another important character, Krogstad, enters Nora's home. He informs Nora that Torvald is about to fire him from his job as he works under him. We are informed that Krogstad is the one who had lent Nora money and now apparently blackmailing her. He also makes her admit that she had forged her father's signature as he had died on 29th of September, and the date she had mentioned after forging his signature was 2nd of October. In the second act, Nora requests Torvald not to dismiss Krogstad, but instead of listening to her, he immediately sends a letter of his dismissal. Meanwhile, Krogstad enters again and demands for a higher position in bank. He also writes everything about Nora's loan in a letter and posts it in Torvald's mailbox. Nora also tries to take Mrs. Lind's help for keeping Krogstad's actions under control. In the last act, Mrs. Lind makes it clear that Torvald must learn about Nora's sacrifices and there shouldn't be any secret in a husband-wife's relationship. Mrs. Lind and Krogstad's incomplete love story also completes here. She finally confesses that she always loved him but deserted him for the sake of her ill mother and 2 young brothers. In the end, everyone knows everything. Torvald rebukes Nora for her foolish act. He also breaks his relationship with her and allows her to live in the same house but to maintain distance from his children. Observing his behavior, Nora decides to leave the house to make her own identity. Meanwhile, Krogstad, who is now reunited with Mrs. Lind, frees Nora from the bond that she had signed while borrowing money from him. Hearing this, Torvald forgives Nora and tries to settle things with her. But now it was too late as she had already decided to leave the house. And that brings us to the end of the final act with the lines, "A hope flashes across his mind," and Torvald questions, "The most wonderful thing of all?" Here we find him introspecting about his last conversation with Nora, where she suggested that in order to get back together, both must be so changed that it would be a real wedlock. Coming to my opinion of the play, though it was written in 19th century, it is still relatable to a certain extent, as even today the housewives are not always respected in the patriarchal society. Translation into many languages of the play is a clear evidence that women being considered inferior to men is a global problem. I also liked Nora's Anti-Climactic Dialogues, where she finally tells her husband that he never loved her, he just loves the idea of being in love with her. The dialogues that Nora delivers in the climax are very strong, rebellious, interesting, and filled with determination. Coming towards what I didn't like about the play, first and foremost, it is annoying to read repetitive, contradictory adjectives like skylark, little squirrel, Miss Extravagant, featherbrain, etc. used for the same person by the same person in the same conversation. Second thing is the anticlimactic scene in which Nora actually leaves the house. She had 3 children who were not at fault. Then why are they being punished? How can a mother desert her kids just like that? Even if she wanted to leave, she could have taken them with her. Deceit, double standard, marriage, predominant gender discrimination, and constrictive nature of gender roles are the major themes of the play. It highlights the difference between the mentality of a man and a woman. For example, when Torvald gets to know the truth, he says, "No man would sacrifice his honor for the one he loves," on which Nora replies, "It is a thing hundreds of thousands of women have done." The title of the play, A Doll's House, is appropriately chosen by the playwright as a doll symbolizes beauty and passivity, and Nora's character fits in that role aptly. She is portrayed as a beautiful, pleasing, placid, motherly woman who never tries to be rebellious to maintain peace at home until the end of the play. At last, she realizes her mistake and speaks her heart out before Torvald. To conclude, I can say that it is an interesting play which is worth reading. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'll give it 3 stars. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also share your views about this play in the comment section below. Keep reading.